Hey everyone! In this video I'm going to show you how to make a pocket page for your mini album, and I'm going to show you how to use the Seven Gypsies bindery punch and the extra large eyelets. I'm going to show you how to apply those with the crocodile. So let's go ahead and get started. I got these Seven Gypsies photo carousel pockets at Green Tangerines over the weekend. They have a really great sale going on right now, and so these are just the bare naked ones, so they're just like manila folder color. And I wanted to do some that were more custom to a mini album that I'm making for Kara for a Scrap Beach mini swap that we're doing. So some of the colors that I need are tied into like the Baja Blue by Stampin' Up! And also the Old Olive. And so I went ahead and made a template. It's somewhat similar, but not. I don't like sort of how the pockets, this is a Seven Gypsies one, it sort of is open here, you know. I like my pockets to be fully covered, and plus I don't need the ATC punches on the corner. So this is my version of the pocket. Okay, I've already done the hole punches. So let me go ahead and show you. This is the template I created. I like to create templates with the measurements. So basically, you can take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You're going to cut it at 6.5 by 10.5, and then you're going to score it from one end at 5 inches. And then on the opposite end, you're going to, you're going to score it from 5 inches from one end, and then from the other end, you're going to score it in half an inch. And then from the bottom, you're going to score in half an inch, and you're going to be trimming off some pieces. So anyways, I'll put a tutorial on my blog to show you exactly how I did that. But this is how it turns out when you actually trace it on there, and you can't really see it because the lighting's bad. So, well, not bad, but it's just sort of shining. I'm going to go ahead and cut this on video to show you guys how to. I'm just going to cut what I've traced out for my template. And I'm going to do a bit of scoring here while I'm cutting. Okay. Now when you cut this, you don't want to cut all the way because you want to stop at the score line. And then you want to pick up where it's really difficult to see. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line really quick here. Okay. And then I'm going to do my score line right here. And then you're going to cut it at an angle, and my template actually shows this angle, because this is where you're going to sort of tuck in the flap so that you could adhere the pocket. Okay, so that's all the cutting and scoring I need to do. I'm just going to go ahead and, actually, I take that back, guys. I need to score a line right here. I'm doing this while my 2-year-old is asleep, so hopefully he doesn't wake up. Okay, so now you want to fold the score lines. This one just looks like it folded over just a little bit, so just want to make sure it comes out straight. This top corner, so this is the top of the pocket. This is the top of the pocket here. I'm going to go ahead and use my corner chomper at the 1/4 inch corner rounder side, and I'm just going to round that corner there so we don't have any pieces peeking up when you fold the pocket. so there's the pocket. Okay, now we want to make the holes, and what I do is I use the 1 3/8 circle punch by Stampin' Up. And if you don't know this already, on the side of your punch, there's this little line that indicates the smack middle of the circle. Okay, so that's like the halfway mark into the circle. So that's where you want to line up your paper, and I usually just eyeball this to make sure that it's right in the center, but you want to make sure you have those slits lined up with the paper edge, the edge of the paper, and that way you know that you're doing it like right halfway. Okay, and then you just punch it, and then you're going to go ahead and just line it up, because these punches weren't made to punch more than 2 sheets of paper or cardstock, so you just want to sort of line that up and punch the second hole. Okay, so there you go. Now for sake of time, I'm going to use my ATG, and I just put a brand new refill in here, so hopefully I don't have any issues. Okay, I might have spoke too soon. There we go. It usually just takes a little while to get it going. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and fold that shut. Okay, now there's your pocket. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the bindery punch to punch my holes. And so what you want to do is you just sort of center it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but you're going to center it by sort of eyeballing left and right to make sure there's equal amount of paper. And you just push the little button on the top to punch the hole. Now this little guide pops in and out, and it stops at certain intervals. You want to pop it out to the first click, and then you take the hole and you put it on the put it the top hole on the mark there, and just sort of twist it in, and just make sure it's pushed in all the way, and hit it again. Okay, and that puts the center hole. Now to put the eyelets in, and I got some requests for this, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this. And I'll do this one at a time. These are the extra large eyelets by We Are Memory Keepers, and these work best with the Crop-A-Dile. I found that when I use generic eyelets, or even the Making Memories ones, they tend to get crushed by the Crop-A-Dile. And if you notice on the back side of the eyelets, with the We Are Memory Keepers eyelets, there's little grooves in the back side, and that allows the Crop-A-Dile to fold over the eyelet so it hugs the paper on the opposite side. So on your Crop-A-Dile, you always want to make sure, when you look at your settings, that the bottom setting is set to 1, okay, and your top setting is always going to be set to A, okay, and that's for the extra large eyelet, so make sure your settings are set to A1, okay, and then what you're going to go ahead and do is just pop your eyelet on there, and you want to line up the little mountain. I guess that's the A setting. You're going to put that right into the hole, okay, right into the hole like that. I don't know if you guys can see too well. And then you're going to gently squeeze. Now I usually take 2 hands just so it's firm, but gently squeeze. When you feel that the pressure is completely, like it'll stop, when you'll know that it's done when it stops, okay? Then you just let it go, and there you go, okay? When the back side curls up, you're good to go. Okay? And then you're just going to do that for all 3 of your extra large eyelets. Okay? And I love this Crop-A-Dile because before I used to use a hammer and eyelet setter, and it was just so loud and messy, so this is my newfound friend. I actually have the big bite as well, but I don't use it as often because it's more bulky and this is easy to get to on my craft desk. So anyways, pocket page for your mini. Showed you how to use a 7 Gypsies bindery punch, and these are the extra large eyelets that you can set, extra large eyelets by We Are Memory Keepers that you can set with your Crop-A-Dile. Anyways, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them. Thank you for watching. Bye guys.